Palantir does it again, and who would have thought there'd be more news on such a busy week? Palantir locks down a $100 million contract from the DoD. And since it kind of went under the radar earlier in the week too with all the news, Palantir actually got some more dollars from the US government from ICE for almost $19 million. So lots of work still to be done with the government. Now, back to the bigger contract that's recent, the info to remember is that this is for a 5-year contract, so roughly $20 million per year. So it's definitely not the biggest contract ever for Palantir, of course, that we've seen before, but Palantir continues to prove they are a key player in the technological direction that the US military is going, or at least trying to go. This contract is for research and development for user-centered machine learning. So if you think about it, Palantir is getting paid to do R&D for them. Now, the extent that they can utilize this outside of this use case remains to be seen, but at least as an organization and the people who can work on it, they continue to build up their experience on the leading edge for this kind of work. And I think this brings up a good point about Palantir that a lot of folks may be overlooking. The most recent quarters are showing a strong government segment where growth has actually been higher than expected, at least for me personally and to some analysts. Now, it doesn't mean that this will continue on forever in a linear fashion, and this has been alluded to many times before by Carbon Management, that they are a lumpy business when it comes to the US government. Sometimes you get those big jumbo contracts with some upfront revenue recognition, and other times you're in that in-between phase waiting for the government to get their ducks in a row first before you can even compete and then win a contract. But this quote-unquote small contract is an important sign to me that Palantir is always on deck and around the corner. They are working alongside the DoD as a partner in development, so basically building out the foundation and starting from scratch, which if you're already doing good work and the customer in this case wants to expand the program, you're definitely at least being considered for the larger project, if not the only one. And this brings up another good point people forget about. The US government business that Palantir works in is more than just the military and intelligence side of things. They work with numerous US government agencies, large and small alike, where they're building these wide arrays of use cases and able to point to them basically as evidence of their competence. And it also doesn't hurt they're openly in support of the West and serving the US government. So in my opinion, you kind of get the best of both worlds where the government spend, even if it's not a high growth driver, and most don't expect this to be the case, honestly, it provides almost like a baseline of support for the business where you'll get some bumps here and there up over time. And this is to help the business continue building its foothold in commercial while still being a breeding ground for R&D like in this case, which we've seen reference a lot before too from management that during the Cold War, a lot of technology was developed in purpose of meeting the US military's needs, but then finding applications in the private sector, allowing everyone to benefit over time. So we'll see if this trend continues, but always great to have a surprise contract win like this. But what are your thoughts below? And I'll see you in the next video.